This reminds me of last week's Come Follow Me, when Joseph talks about he was talking about recording and kind of the whole book of life and these ordinances being recorded. And he very plainly and clearly says, anytime there's been authority on the earth, anytime there's been a dispensation of truth on the earth, that these things have been revealed. This is something else you could throw into that category as well. These symbols, these signs, these tokens of priesthood authority. All I'm trying to convey is, you can imagine a scenario when Christ is resurrected and gone. You have priesthood authority on the earth. You have the gospel attempting to be spread all throughout the Mediterranean and Europe. And how would one know, right? That's the question. How would you know that one is a true messenger, right? So these things we take very much for granted today have very real world application and importance. And in fact, if one could infiltrate these, as you know, sacred, this sacred knowledge, you could really do a lot of damage to something like early Christianity after Christ, where we see very quickly after the apostles are all martyred, that apostasy creeps in pretty quick after that. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that, but it may have been the infiltration of the church with those who maybe had knowledge, but did not have power or authority, and sought to usurp the power the church had for their own personal gains. Yeah. And when you go down that line of thinking, it becomes very clear, too, what it means for there to be false priesthoods and what those might look like as false organizations of men and authority and leadership throughout the world. Moving to section 130, here's a great one. When the Savior shall appear, we shall see him as he is. We shall see that he is a man like ourselves. That's like the plainest and most precious truth I think that could ever be taught. And it took my mind to section 93. It says, I give you these sayings that you may understand and know how to worship and know what you worship, that you may come unto the Father in my name and in due time receive of his fullness. The only way that any of that would be possible for us is for Christ to be no different than us. You know, for him to be a man like ourselves. And we live in a Western civilization of apostate Christianity, built on principles and doctrines of apostate Christianity, you know, paganized Christianity, that has become over mysticized, that the gospel becomes supernatural, it becomes mystic, and the nature of God becomes something uncomprehendable. And there's no power to save in those pagan ideas of what God is, right? We live in this, like mainstream Christianity has basically turned God into Zeus and Jesus into Hercules. Like, it's very pagan. The restoration is giving us an accurate representation of the Godhead that does not diminish God or Jesus Christ. It keeps them in their thrones and in their positions of godhood. But what it does is it gives us revelation as to who we are and to what our divine potential is and our true relationship to them. And it's not something supernatural. It's not something mystical. It's something plain and precious that actually has meaning and power when you apply it in your life and you let it change who you are. Thank you for watching. If you found this content spiritually enlightening, please like, comment, and subscribe.
Like the gospel, these little things make all the difference, and it helps the algorithm push out better content for everyone to enjoy on YouTube.